Good morning to everyone. Welcome to Chemistry 1, the general chemistry for grade 11 and grade 12. So, the topic for today is percent yield. Think of it. So, I have here a question. Do you believe that in making a chemical reaction, it will always be a perfect if we calculated it? The answer is no. Okay? So, there are often losses due to the incomplete reaction. Nagkakaroon tayo ng incomplete reaction because of the limiting reactant at the excess reactant. That's why the chemist is always measuring this percent yield with the use of this formula. We have the formula for percent yield. Percent yield is equal to actual yield divided by theoretical yield times 100. So, percent yield is said to be the measurement that indicates how successful a certain chemical reaction has been. Okay, so meron tayong theoretical yield wherein ang sinasabi dito sa theoretical yield, this is the maximum amount of product that could be formed from the given amount of limiting reactant. So we use as limiting reactant in order to get the theoretical yield. And the actual yield ay na yung pinaka-amount of product that is formed when the reaction is carried out in the laboratory. So usually, actual yield ay nasa problem na po. Then times 100%. So here is the sample computation. So number 1, in a reaction vessel, 17.0 gram of nitrogen gas and 5.0 gram of H2 or hydrogen gas were allowed to react to form ammonia. So if 6.0 gram of ammonia was recovered after the reaction, find A, theoretical yield, B, percent yield. So the given is 17.0 gram of N2 and 5.00 gram of H2 and 6 gram of NH3. And the unknown is theoretical yield and B, percent yield. So first, again, when you see a gram in a certain problem, kailangan muna nating kunin yung molar mass of this compound, yung nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas as well as the compound of the ammonium. Okay, so let's get the molar masses. So the molar mass of N2 is 28.02 gram of mole. So we get that by multiplying the number of atom of nitrogen in the compound and multiplying it to its atomic mass, which is 14.01, and that is equal to 28.02 gram per mole. Ganun din po sa hydrogen, we have 2.016 gram per mole, and the ammonia, which is 17.034 gram per mole. Now, we already get the molar masses. Now, the next step is get the mole of each reactant using the given gram in the problem. So, we need to get the mole or number of mole na meron ang ating nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas. So, the first one is mole of nitrogen, that is equal to 17.0 gram of N2, which is the given here, divided by the molar mass of nitrogen gas, yung sa step 1 natin kinuha, which is 28.02 gram per mole of nitrogen gas. Cancel out the gram, then we will get 0.61 mole of nitrogen gas. Proceed to mole of hydrogen gas. We have 5.00 gram of hydrogen gas. So this one, as a given po, divided by 2.016 gram mole of hydrogen gas. So cancel out the gram, matitira na lang yung mole. And the answer is 2.48 mole of hydrogen gas. Okay? Now, let's divide it to the number of mole or number of coefficient. So divide the mole to the number of coefficient in the chemical equation. So here is the chemical equation. Okay, so let's determine first the number of the coefficient in each reactant. So meron tayo ditong invisible one, so that is number of mole or coefficient. And this is 3, so we have 3 for the hydrogen and we have 2 mole for the ammonium. Okay, so we have mole of nitrogen. So the mole of nitrogen that we calculated in step 2 is 0.61 mole of nitrogen divided by 1, meaning to say meron tayong invisible 1 dito, yung coefficient. So that is equal to 0.61 mole of nitrogen. Then we need to get the mole of hydrogen gas. So we have 2.48 mole of hydrogen gas. Okay, ayan yung kinompute natin kanina. Then divided by 3, the mole of the hydrogen or the coefficient of the hydrogen gas. And that is equal to 0.83 mole of hydrogen gas. And let's determine the limiting reactant. And the limiting reactant is 0.61 mole of nitrogen. So because it is lesser compared to the mole of the hydrogen. Okay, so our limiting reactant again is the mole of the nitrogen gas. So we uses this one in our step 4. Wherein step 4 is the getting the theoretical yield. And the theoretical yield is the gram, okay, mass of the ammonia. So we uses the mass of the nitrogen since nitrogen is the limiting reactant. So we uses the mass of the nitrogen which is given, ito, 17.00 gram of nitrogen gas times in 1 mole of nitrogen. Okay, 1 mole of nitrogen we have the 28.02 gram per mole of nitrogen gas. So cancel out natin yung gram, cancel out natin yung gram dito. Then proceed tayo sa another conversion. So sabi po dito in 1 mole of nitrogen, ito yung coefficient natin, invisible 1. That is equal to 2 mole of ammonium. Okay? So, cancel out natin yung mole ng nitrogen, cancel out natin yung mole ng nitrogen. Then, saka natin siya, meron na tayong mole of nitrogen, mole of ammonia. Then, i-convert naman natin into grams. So, ang kailangan kasi natin is gram of nitrogen or ammonia. Okay? So, in 1 mole of ammonia, meron daw po tayong 17.0234 gram per mole of ammonia. So, ito ay yung molar mass. Okay? Molar mass po yan ng ammonia doon sa step 1 natin. So, cancel out mole of ammonia, matitira natin yung grams. So, proceed tayo, 17 gram. 17 times 1 times 2 times 17.034, that is equal to 579.156 gram per mole of ammonia divided by 38.02 and times 1 and that is equal to 28.02 mole of ammonia. And that is equal to 20.67 gram of ammonia. Okay, so this is the value for the theoretical yield. Now, meron na tayong theoretical yield. Let's go to the next step, which is the calculating the percent yield. So, in calculating percent yield, we uses the actual yield, which is the given. Ito na yon, yung 6.0 gram of NH3 or ammonia divided by the theoretical yield, which is equal to 20.67 times 100. Okay? So, ayan na po yung ating solution. Okay, we uses this formula to and substitute all the given data. So we have 6.0 gram of ammonium and 20.67 gram of NH3. Ito yung sagot dun sa step 4. Then calculate it. The answer will be 29% of ammonia. So we always follow the significant figure. So we have two significant figure here. That's why our answer is 29 with two significant figure. Okay po. So next problem is in reaction vessel we have 25 gram of magnesium oxide and 15 gram of carbon dioxide were allowed to react to form magnesium carbonate. If 7 gram of magnesium carbonate was recovered after the reaction, find theoretical yield be percent yield. So, first step natin is to get the molar masses. So, we have the molar mass, which is for the magnesium oxide, we have 40.31 gram of mole. For carbon dioxide, we have 44.01 gram of mole. And for the magnesium carbonate, which is 84.32 gram of mole. Ganun pa rin po yung step natin. So, step 2 is get the mole of each reactant using the given grams in the product. So, we have 25 gram of magnesium oxide. So, nasa given natin yan. And this one, yung 40.31 gram per mole. Again, pag gram per mole, that is molar mass. So, i-divide lang natin sila. Makukuha natin yung 0.62 mole of magnesium oxide. Then, proceed tayo sa mole of carbon dioxide. So, we have 15 gram of carbon dioxide, this one, divided by 44.01 gram mole per mole of CO2 or carbon dioxide, that is equal to 0.34 mole of carbon dioxide. And next, we need to divide the number of mole to the coefficient in the chemical equation. So we have in magnesium oxide 0.62 mole of magnesium oxide divided by 1. Since the coefficient is invisible 1 here, then the answer would be 0.62 mole of magnesium oxide. Then for mole of carbon dioxide, we have 0.34 mole of carbon dioxide. So that is 1 also divided by 1. And we will come up to 0.34 mole of carbon dioxide. And the limiting reactant is the carbon dioxide. And the excess reactant is the magnesium oxide. So we uses the limiting reactant, the gram of limiting reactant, which is gram of carbon dioxide, in getting the theoretical yield. So again, we follow in theoretical yield, kailangan in terms of gram. Okay, gram ang kinukuha natin po. So we need to use the gram for the carbon dioxide, which is 15 gram of CO2. So we have 15 gram of CO2, we need to convert it into mole. So in 1 mole daw ng CO2, meron tayong 44.01 gram per mole. Okay, so this is the molar mass. So cancel out natin yung gram, cancel out natin yung gram. Okay, hindi nakasama to. So we have then next is, nakuha na natin yung mole of carbon dioxide. Sunod naman nating conversion is, i-convert kailangan nating makuha yung mole ng magnesium carbonate. Okay, para makuha natin yung grams ng magnesium carbonate. So, in 1 mole of carbon dioxide, this one, meron daw tayong 1 mole of magnesium carbonate. So, paano yung invisible one yan? Okay, so cancel out natin yung mole. Cancel out natin yung mole, matitira yung mole ng magnesium oxide. So, itong mole ng magnesium oxide, to cancel out the mole, gagamit tayo ng molar mass. Okay? So, in 1 mole of magnesium carbonate daw po, meron tayong 84.32 gram per mole of magnesium carbonate. So, ito yung molar mass. Okay? So, this is the molar mass. Okay? So, cancel out natin yung magnesium carbonate, cancel out natin yung magnesium carbonate. Therefore, saka tayo mag-proceed sa ating mathematical operation. So, we have 15 grams times 1 times 1 times 84.32 gram. Then, divided by 44.01 times 1 times 1. And that is equal to 1264.8 gram per mole of magnesium oxide and 44.01 mole of magnesium oxide. Cancel out the mole, at matitira yung grams. And the answer will be, theoretical yield is 28.75 gram of magnesium oxide. Okay po? So next is, lastly, we need to calculate or getting the percent yield by using the actual yield and the number of the theoretical yield. So we have the formula, percent yield is equal to actual yield divided by theoretical yield times 100. The value for the actual yield is already given. We have 7 gram of magnesium carbonate, and this one, ito yung nakuha natin sa theoretical yield times 100. And that is equal to 34.76% of magnesium carbonate. And nakita ninyo, we have 7, okay, 1 significant figure here. To make it 1 significant figure, pwede nating maging sagot is 20%. of magnesium carbonate. Why? Kasi 0 is not significant, 2 is significant number. So this is considered as one significant figure. Okay, so I hope you learned about the topic for today. And God bless to everyone.